Depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
We'll start the day with areas of fog, otherwise sunshine, patchy clouds, a high of 81 to 84. Clear, partly cloudy and mild this evening, low tonight 61 to 65. Then partly sunny and mild tomorrow, high Wednesday 80 to 83. Thursday and Friday both will be mostly sunny, high Thursday 65 to 71, high Friday 67 to 71. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Carol Ann Baldwin's not able to join us today. She's had a situation come up, so enjoy this past show of Carol Ann Baldwin's In the Garden. It is In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin here on Ocala Talks. She joins us every Tuesday at this time. Carol Ann, good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
Well, I don't know why I can't hear you.
You got me on there yet?
I thought I had you on there.
Am I here? Am I here?
There you go. I had number 3 turned up instead of number 2.
Oh, okay.
I had the other one.
Oh, yeah, I'm not down.
College football, shot to the head.
I was going to say, I'm not down there.
So we're in that season.
We are in that season.
Plants and growth don't know whether it's spring, winter, fall. I mean, I woke up this morning, it was a balmy 56 degrees.
Yeah, yesterday was gorgeous.
Yesterday was gorgeous. Today's supposed to be high about 68, 69 degrees. Yep. Then a cold front moves through the night. It goes back to the 40s and the 60s.
We're only getting like 5-day intervals.
Right.
It's cold, warming. Nice day, colder, cold. We're not getting it. Yeah, it's just we're
8
getting
to 10 days. Usually,
right. I like those 10 day. I like those 10-day ones where you only get like 2 days in a month that are actually cold.
But we're not getting that.
We're not getting that. We're getting them 4 or 5 days, and needing to cover.
I had to cover the orange, and I had to cover the Myers.
Yeah. Oh, this was our coldest one. This was our coldest one that we just had. The upcoming ones are still looking at frost condition, right, frost type condition, maybe up mid 30s on Saturday night, Sunday morning, probably. Yeah. But so yeah, it's like this year is going to be the year. I hope you have a place set in the garage or in the Florida room, the lanai, whatever you've got a place, and just sort of leave those plants there.
We brought the daylily. We brought the peace lilies because my girlfriend has one as well.
Had to bring mom in.
They're both in the lanai.
Yeah.
But they're in the part of the lanai that gets sun about 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day.
Okay.
So it's still getting enough sun that
it's bright enough for them that
we're having to water them instead of being outside. We're having to take cups of water and pour into pots and water them. But they're thriving, sitting right there in the lanai where they're getting sun, and we don't cover them at night, even when it's 30, because they're on the lanai, so the roof covers them. It's kind of
protecting them from the frost. Now, some of that's temperatures that we can have, and even the ones we just did have, were actually. We did get the below freezing, so just the air temperature itself was enough to do some damage, but it may not have been long enough, or they were up close enough to the house.
Right, they're right next to
it helps to keep them warm.
They're right next to the exterior wall of the house.
Right.
And I bet that wall's probably, even in its coldest, 50 degrees.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a couple degrees at least warmer than what the outside, than stepping, say, 6 to 10 feet away from it is.
If you want to call Carol Ann and ask any questions, 622-9700. Tues1-26-2021 is the number to call. She is here to answer your gardening questions, not just mine.
That's it.
Although I got plenty of them. She's here for your gardening questions.
Give us a call. Jump online, however you want to do.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I covered the trees, the Myers and the Ruby Red Grapefruit. Covered them. Put the
noodle to protect the graft.
Right?
Yep.
Covered them up. I've noticed though, all the leaves are gone.
Yeah, it got cold. Yeah.
Even though it got cold, that's still the tree's still very green.
They'll be fine.
It's
they'll
still,
be fine.
And there's new growth coming out on the sides of the tree.
Right. Just
but
let
the
it
leaves
be.
are gone.
I would still, especially because they're young to you trees.
Right.
Take this time to continue to care for them this winter.
Yeah, I'm watering them now every other day.
They've been in the ground
9.5, 10 weeks.
I'd cut them back to about once a week.
Okay.
Once a week, maybe even every 10, I'd go once a week.
So then the afternoon before the hard freeze next, water them then.
Could be. Yeah, because we're getting these colder temperatures, plants don't take up water quite as quickly.
Right.
So it's not utilizing that water, even though it helps to warm the ground around the roots. When we're going to get the cold, it's usually the day or two before or like the morning of, say it's going to get real cold on Saturday night. Usually, by Friday, it would be best.
Have a good drink Friday afternoon.
Good Friday afternoon. Saturday morning, if you went, oops, I forgot. But like say, a lot of times we are accompanied by rain, not always. And this year, they've not been a whole lot
the cold front
of rain.
coming through tonight. It's coming through, and it's going to rain in South Florida, but it's not going to rain
But
here.
more than likely, right, we're not going to get, what are they saying? 10%.
Yeah.
10, 15% chance of rain, something like that.
So we're probably not going to get any rain. So I shouldn't be concerned with the leaves going.
They were
yellowed and fell off.
and that's going to happen. And that's not shock. That's not anything. Yeah, it might have been, actually, part of it might have also been a little too much water.
Maybe.
To add to that. But when citrus trees drop their leaves, once they dropped them, that's fine. That's not hurting anything. It's when trees hang on to leaves that have turned brown that we start to look at a problem.
No,
but because it's cold, it's cold weather, and that it just went. I'm not happy, and poof, drop the leaves. So it's all right.
But
It'll come back.
Yeah.
It'll come back.
Had to be happy with the pool noodles around.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I think we should. I told my girlfriend we should market that.
Market that as a pool noodle, the graft protection device.
Graft protection device. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Just put it on the internet. Graft protection devices.
Yeah. And especially, actually, if you string a piece of Velcro,
so you can close it,
so that you can close it and make sure that it stays and doesn't just, the dog or the cat comes up onto it, it doesn't pull it off when you're not using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We got a marketing.
There you go. Got a marketing idea there. Yeah. You can even ship them across the country because you've got that ability yourself.
What are plants going through right now though? We've been talking about how the weather is so up and down. What are plants experiencing right now?
Pretty much, it's a dormancy for most of the stuff that would be, say, your perennials and things like that. They probably have slacked off on their blooming. A lot of times our perennials will bloom year round. If they haven't been hit by the cold, they're probably still blooming, just maybe not quite as much. Talked to a customer yesterday. Yes, I am back to work. If anybody's hunting for me during the day, when I'm back to work. I'm back. And he goes, this plant, the top's all burn off, but the bottom's still green. I said, yeah, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't touch it because that top, even though that top is dead, it's protecting that plant. Our lawns are asleep. We don't fertilize this time of year. I don't care which manufacturer of fertilizer tells you can use me any time of year. Your lawn is asleep. You don't give an unconscious person a drink of water or a sandwich.
Right, they'll choke.
He's going to choke on it. He's not going to consume it. It's going to be detrimental. We don't need to give a sleeping, unconscious lawn any food. Water, yes, only, but then even then, we're giving it as a minimum.
How much with the colder weather and the hotter temperatures and cold at night and the fog and the dew, how much does that give water-wise to your lawn that's dormant?
Not a lot. moreover, the little bits, even those little tenths of an inch rains we're getting are beneficial. It's not much. It's not really that measurable, but it does help to prevent them from being really drought stressed. And the higher humidities do the same thing. It does help to keep some of that drought stress. It's when a lot of times we get wind with our cold fronts, and that just pulls the moisture out of plants. And that's why we have to make sure our plants and our lawns are not drought stressed. So that's where proper watering comes in.
I have something I've noticed the past couple of weeks is we have shrubbery that goes around the front of the house, and it's very, very vibrant shrubbery, and it stays trimmed by our lawn guys and everything. Right. But I've noticed in the last 2 or 3 weeks, there's starting to be barren leaf, barren spots in particular areas of the shrubbery. I don't know what's caused it. When I asked my girlfriend, she goes, it happens every winter. Yeah. Okay. Now, I wonder if it's bare spots, and in the summer is the other part of the shrubbery covered up.
It's just covering it, and that quite possibly could be, or the last time they trimmed them, some of that, if it had started to try to put on, or it exposed some of those areas, and obviously if it was a little late in the season, didn't have a chance to grow back in and fill back in to cover those bad spots up. That's why we hold off, once they hit a certain point in the year.
The box shrubs have 4 or 5 different dead little blank spots in them.
If it's boxwood, sometimes they ended up, especially as they get older, to be older plants, some fungal issues that get in there and start to just destroy.
Oh, okay.
And then if we have a year, this winter, to me, is maybe not quite as stressful to the plants because we're staying cooler. We're not going and shooting up there to those 78, 80 degrees for 4 and 5 and 6 days, and then boom, bottoming back out at 28 to 30 degrees, and then shooting back up to 75. We've
been saying about 62, 63, 65.
62, yes, and the 72, 73 we had yesterday was nice. We're getting a few of those, but it is just looking at a 10-day. I brought up a 10-day forecast just to look at it. Our lows are running there in the 40s, highs in the 60s, which is a little bit below average for us.
Yeah, because we're usually between 68 and 72 in the day.
And the
mid-40s at night.
Mid-40s at night, right. And so we're running a little bit below the norm. So I think most everything else has sort of gone dormant. You're not seeing that extra growth coming on. So I think the things are going to go to sleep. They're not going to force that new growth. If it gets burnt, it's not going to try to start growing right away unless we get some significant warming trends in another, I would say if I'm looking 10 days out, I'm looking at the end of the month.
Right.
And I'm not seeing that, at least not through January.
We're almost halfway through the month of January.
Almost halfway through the month of January. We got about a month and a half before spring gets here. 2 months to go.
622-9622 is the number to call if you want to talk to Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. How important, say you're a new person that just moved to this area.
Okay.
And you have a job that doesn't allow you to be the lawn maintenance person yourself.
Right.
How important is choosing the right lawn maintenance guy to your shrubbery and your grass?
Very important. I mean, you can get somebody who just really is maybe too busy, has too many accounts, and so they rush and hurry through, so they may not do a good job mowing. They may scalp some. They may trim the hedges lower so they don't have to come back as often. Things like that. I mean, I would look around. If you are new into the area, or we've got a lot of snowbirds that maybe have come back since the holidays and that to spend a little bit of time looking to hire somebody to come in and talk to your neighbors. If you like what their yards look like, ask them who does theirs. And, that's how I would look for it.
Word of mouth referral.
Word of mouth referral is very good. Was a couple years ago at the Spring Festival, I think it was the last one we actually held, or maybe that's the one that was canceled. David Holmes was our extension director at that time, and he was going to actually do a presentation on how to select a landscape company to come in and do your maintenance, because your people who are going to do your fertilization and things like that have to complete a course in the state of Florida. It's a Green Industries, Green Industries Better Management Practices, BMP. And that they learn about, and I believe all of their employees, if not all the employees, all of the supervisors, at least if it's a larger company, have to take this course, and it has to be renewed every couple years.
Right.
So that way they're up to date on what Florida regulation is on applying fertilizer. It's all based upon fertilizer more than anything else, more than cutting or pruning and things like that, because our water resources are so precious.
Yeah, the aquifer can get poisoned very easy.
Our springs, our ocean fronts, our lake fronts, our creeks, everything, is so very important.
A lot of people would tell you that the reason the springs is so overgrown now, and the reason why you don't see as many fish and all as you did when I was a kid, is the nitrate runoff into the springs.
Nitrates and the phosphates.
Right. It creates the grass underground. The grass is underwater. It can feed on that same fertlizer.
Yeah.
So it grows that grass.
Getting more,
right.
Getting more, and you get the algae, and this is where our algae blooms. And many always wanted to blame agricultural industry, and some of it, of course, does come from that. Some of it comes from golf course maintenance, and all of these things are different, thrive under different regulation. What you do at your home is different than what is done on the grounds here of the Paddock Mall.
Certainly. Or
the Cascades in town, any of those. They are under, so you can't look at what they're doing and go, I'm going to copy, because you can't. There are regulations, and because there's what we call non-point source pollution. You in your yard are not directly polluting something, but when the grass clippings get blown out into the street and they run down the storm sewer and they run down into the creek that then feeds the next and da-da-da-da-da.
And then all of a sudden it's in the Ocala and then in the Silver River.
Right. And we've got algae blooms going on.
People go, but I don't live close to there. No. Nothing I do in my yard can affect the Ocala or the Silver River. I don't live near there.
Drive around the county and you will see signs out on the roads that you are entering the Silver Springs water basin, that the protection area.
Right.
And there are different regulations in those areas, and the Rainbow River one. I think the Rainbow River one starts over here on 66.
It
does. When you're going over the bridge.
Right.
Over the I-75. And so everything that we put on the ground, eventually with our sandy soil, hey, this soil doesn't hold water. Right. So whatever you put on top runs through.
Yeah, it's great for a golf course, because 30 minutes after it rains, you can play muni.
It
drains well.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's not good for the aquifer.
It's not good. Well, it's great for the recharge. Right. It's good for the recharge, but we have to be very careful on what we put down. And everybody who knows me, I used to work for one of the big companies that changed names, and they make lawn fertilizers, they make garden chemicals, and things like that. And I've always and I'm not against those. I'm against using them correctly.
You're against using them incorrectly.
Right.
You said you were against using them correctly.
Oh no, I'm against using it incorrectly. I am a read and follow the label instructions kind of person.
They're there for a reason.
They're the law.
Yeah.
They're the law. There's a little strip right up on the top, and it's usually in little tiny print that says the mission, using this as directed is actually a federal offense.
Right.
So it's one of those kind of things. What was it? Somebody the other day says, they were looking at something as simple as on an African violet on a pest control kind of thing. I says, a lot of people use a cotton swab and a little bit of alcohol. She says, I've looked on this website and that website, and nobody says it on there. I says, because your bottle of alcohol is not labeled for use on plants.
Right. It's
not labeled. Legally, they are labeled for what they are. They're an antiseptic for the scrapes and bumps and that. But that's why Epsom salts, they actually. Magnesium sulfate is Epsom salts.
Right.
Your old bag of Epsom salts was never labeled for use on your plants. It is now.
Right.
But they had to go through. They had to go through the EPA to have it listed on there. So read and follow the directions. When something tells you to use 2 ounces to the gallon, don't go with 3. 1, you're wasting your money because it's not any more effective. And 2, you could be hurting yourself, your pets, and your environment.
It's kind of like I ask a pharmacist one time. I go, what's the difference between taking 3 Advil and 4 Advil?
Right.
Because 3 Advil 600 milligrams, 4 is 800 milligrams.
Right.
And the prescription's 800 milligrams.
Right.
He goes, yeah, but 600 milligram and 800 milligram, your body won't know the difference.
Right.
It's not going to be any more effective taking that 4th Advil than it is taking 3, but it'll be less damage to your stomach taking 3 than it is 4.
Right, and your liver.
And that's what you're saying about this.
Exactly.
Using 2 ounces like it calls for per gallon,
right,
or using 3 ounces per gallon isn't going to make a difference in the effectiveness, especially with like Roundup. People think, oh, it says 2 ounces.
That's actually a very good example.
They said 2 ounces to a gallon. Well, I'll put half a gallon to a gallon, and these weeds will stay gone forever.
Nope.
They don't. You just poison the soil deep down and get it into the water.
And not even just that. Actually, one of the concentrated versions of that exact product, Roundup, contains 2 products. It contains 2 chemicals. If you overmix that, the one chemical is at too high of a rate, and it'll burn the top off the weed. And it won't kill the weed. It doesn't work.
So it's
counterintuitive. Right. It's counterintuitive to it. So that's what, read and follow the instructions. It's just not, And
you always hear this. And is there any truth to this? You always hear this. Because I grew up in South Georgia. And you got a lot of people in the agricultural business in South Georgia that if you know the right people, you can get industrial strength Roundup.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Industrial strength. Is there really a difference between industrial strength Roundup and the stuff I can buy at the store?
It depends. But the thing is, here's the whole thing. Because we used to carry, because I'm a label reader. Right. I grew up from the cereal box in the 70s. You're sitting there as a child eating your bowl of cereal before school.
That was our phone.
That was your reading material before school instead of the TV or instead of the phone. When you read and follow the label instructions on the Roundup Pro or the other one, that you get this great big 2.5 gallon jug for $260. Right. It makes that $15 jug really, really cheap is all it does.
Right, that's it.
Because you follow the directions,
it's the same.
It is the same. You can. There are mixing instructions to mix it a little bit, to mix it a little stronger, depending on what it's being used for. But all you have to do is mix it correctly and use it at the right time of year. Today, right now, wintertime's not the time to use Roundup.
No, there's no weeds alive.
They are not actively growing. They're not actively growing. The temperature's too cool, so it's not absorbed quickly and properly, and it's not sunny.
People say, I had a friend of mine, he lives by this, lives in Georgia, my buddy Russ, and he will tell you that he has and he's got cattle. He's got cattle, and so he
runs his fence line.
The hot wires along the line. He's got the 5-mile hot wire, so good hot wire. But sticks and weeds.
And get up in there.
He every winter goes to his local
farm supply store. Farm supply store.
One of those places, Southern States,
Southern Ag or whatever. Yeah.
And he gets his Roundup Pro, and he puts it in his spray bottle, and he goes out in his John Deere Gator. And he sprays his fence line, and he soaks it in the wintertime. He says, that keeps the weeds from coming back as early.
If he's
by the time it comes back, hadn't the rain kind of diluted all of that and everything?
Well, actually, Roundup's a contact herbicide. Only what you spray is what it kills.
It doesn't soak in the ground and kill anything underneath.
No.
If it did, kudzu would be dead.
Yeah, if it actually, it is a contact herbicide. That's why you can redo a lawn, spraying it, wait 7 days, whatever's still green, spray again, plant in 3.
Right.
You're putting new right on top of it.
Right. New grass on Roundup 3 days before.
3 days before. And you can do it.
Yeah.
It's a contact herbicide.
He swears by it.
And there are ones with residuals, and that might be what he's purchasing.
Who knows?
Yeah.
He swears by it.
Right.
I think it's just something he does to make it look like he's working in the wintertime.
Could be.
I think that's because he rides around in that Gator a lot. With his golf clubs in the back always, so he can hit practice balls, he says.
Oh,
whenever
okay.
he's out in the pasture.
Right, I got you.
I mean, he's pretty successful.
Could be.
Got about 600 head of cattle.
That's
He's not a small farm he's running.
No.
Not a small farm.
He's got it.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, your call, 622-9622 is the number to call. Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, in the garden, right here on WOCA, The Source. We're going to take a short timeout. Carol Ann Baldwin, the second half of this show. Coming up after this timeout, you're listening to a In the Garden Rewind on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
House Democrats presented an article of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate on Monday night. A total of 10 House Republicans joined in with Democrats to vote in favor of impeachment. And impeachment is defined as to remove from power. More on yesterday's horrific killing in Indianapolis, Indiana. A teenager whose dad had just yelled at him for leaving the house without permission turned a gun on his family, killing 5 relatives. The alleged killer, who has not been named by authorities because of his age, was arrested Monday after cops tracked him down to the suburb of Plainfield, Indiana. His younger brother lived to tell authorities what happened. The Senate voted 84-15 to confirm Janet Yellen as the 78th Treasury Secretary on Monday. Yellen is the first woman to serve as Treasury Secretary. Previously, she was on the Federal Reserve Board from 2014 to 2018. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Secretary Yellen is estimated to be worth $16 million. This is USA Radio News.
Rockstar Radio. Did you know this station, this network, is looking for their next rock star broadcaster? That's right, we are. And it could be you. It could be you interviewing the guests, talking to the newsmakers right in the middle of everything. Have you ever dreamed of being a rock star show host? Now could be your chance. Together with this station, we'll help you with everything you need. The studios, the equipment, your own producer, a co-host if you'd like, and so much more. Broadcasting is changing. There's never been a need for fresh voices and unique opinions like there is right now. You can do this. Our professional team will guide you every step of the way. Sound effects, show content, building your social network media, and everything you need to be the next rockstar broadcaster. Get all the details. Email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. To get started with your own show, email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. Don't wait. You could be the next voice for America. Email bill@rockstar.today.
AccuSleep offers a safe and effective medical option for those who suffer from sleep disorders of all kinds. AccuSleep makes restoring healthy sleep patterns possible. No medication, no surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
What you need is RoofMax. RoofMax is a revolutionary green roofing solution that can save you $10,000 or more by greatly extending the life of your existing roof. Here's how it works. Asphalt roof shingles have essential oils to keep them flexible and waterproof. Over time, this oil dries out, causing your roof to become brittle and slowly break apart. A RoofMax treatment saturates your roof with millions of microbeads, restoring flexibility and continued waterproof protection. It's like a skin moisturizer for asphalt shingles. RoofMax treatments are guaranteed for 5 years, and repeating treatments can extend your roof's life for up to 15 years for a fraction of the cost of replacement. RoofMax uses satellite measurement software to provide a hassle-free, contact-free price quote over the phone in under 5 minutes. No in-person house call required. Get your instant quote by calling 352-639-2777 That's 352-639-2777.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new truck.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Holy what have you done in my kitchen?
Oh, honey, how is it? I never know when she's coming home.
What are all these pipes laying around? Why is my dishwasher in the living room, and why is the carpet all wet?
Well, remember that fancy new kitchen remodel you've always wanted?
Oh, I do, and this is not it.
But I thought I might save some money by doing it myself.
You thought wrong. I promise this is going to cost you way more. You should have called in the professionals at Mike Scott Plumbing, because I'm pretty sure when I flush the toilet, water is not supposed to come out of the sink.
Noticed that, did you?
The next thing I'm going to notice is you calling Mike Scott Plumbing like you should have done in the first place.
Yes, dear. 866-314-4443.
Yes, 866-314-4443.
That played out so differently in my head. On next week's episode of What Not to Do.
No, not monkeys.
This is a rewind version of In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin. She had a situation come up today, so she is not with us live. This is a rewind of In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin. That's right. It's In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener. Carol Ann Baldwin. I mean, she took all the courses. She earned the title. Might as well refer to her as Master Gardener.
Master Gardener.
Carol Ann Baldwin.
Yep.
Some of the best conversations we have are in the breaks.
They always are. Yeah, that's it.
While Tyron Screvin's giving us the farm news report.
Yep.
Yeah. Tyron Screvin's been doing that. I mean,
Forever
I'm 54. I think the first time I remember Tyron Screvin, because there was a man before Tyron Screvin that I remember as a kid. But I think Tyron Screvin's been doing it. I was probably in my late teens or early 20s.
Wow.
So he's probably been doing it 30 years.
30, 40 years, yeah. Wow.
And he is in the agriculture area of Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a rock star.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For the agriculture.
Oh, yeah. He'll come to different
talks and
he'll come to different extension centers and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a rock star.
4-H banquets and FFA banquets.
He's always a keynote at those places.
Yeah.
Tyron
That makes sense.
Southeast Ag.
Why not? Everybody, all the kids got their autographs.
And he's got that. He is blessed as I am with a voice that is radio. It's good for radio.
Yeah.
But it's not the normal wacky FM DJ voice.
Right, yeah.
I got blessed with a voice that is very distinct.
It gives that you got that gravelly voice. Yeah. You got that gravelly.
But it works for radio.
Yeah, it does.
Face for radio, too.
But nowadays with all the video, it's like, yikes.
Yeah, everybody's on video now.
It's all,
but we were talking off the air about different things about how some of the things I think they try to tell you, and it's because they're marketing pesticides and everything is a little overkill.
Sometimes
some stuff you don't really if you know the old ways of farming.
Right.
Some of the stuff you don't need to do.
Right. Yeah.
I'm talking. I've forgot more about peanuts than I care to remember. But I'm not like Richard Barber. Richard Barber here in town, and that man is Mr. Peanut. I mean, he does candy peanuts. He's Mr. Cates. My buddy Paul Youngkin worked for Mr. Cates doing peanuts for a very long time. Peanuts big business here.
It is.
People don't think about. People think peanuts Georgia, North Florida, North Central Florida. Peanuts are a big deal.
We got Williston's got the peanut processing. Roasting plant.
Right.
And because I knew there was Master Gardener who used to actually go get peanut hull for his mulch.
Oh, it's great mulch.
He'd go pick 'em up truck full for I don't know, $10-15.
Right.
And I mean, actually, he was doing them a favor getting rid of it.
Rid of the peanut shit.
Yeah. But
although they take, they
take a long time to break down.
You know who the largest user of peanut shells is in the country? Yep.
I was gonna say.
Well, I'll tell you who it used to be.
Probably was Plush Animals, but
it was Georgia Pacific.
Oh, into pulp
because
mill.
They grind it up. They grind it up into a fine powder, and they use it along with ash and honey as the glue for plywood.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. How about that? The glue that holds plywood together, the stickiness is honey. That's what they use to hold plywood together.
Wow.
Honey.
Well, that and the mix from the other
ash and the peanut powder
changes. Right. Yeah, changes.
And have you ever seen peanut dust? Peanut dust is it's dust.
It's fine. It's fine stuff. Yeah.
I've been in many a pickup truck and tractor that are covered in peanut dust. Let's go to the phone lines. Hi, caller. You're on with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin.
Yeah, it's Michael. I just had a question about angel trumpet. Trees and stuff. What have you? What time of year and what's the particular process that is the most successful in doing a grafting from another color onto your existing trees?
Okay. So you've got one, and you want to add another color to it. I would say, I would say probably early spring, because like right now they're probably leafless. So they're pretty,
definitely. With the last freeze.
With that last freeze, yes, I know. I had a neighbor had a beautiful yellow one, and I drove by and I went, ooh, sorry. But I would say early spring, probably letting that new wood harden off some. So maybe a little more like late spring, 1st of June. 1st of June kind of thing of getting your cutting and getting that grafted on there. Only because you don't want it real soft. Because you're not doing a bud, you're actually going to do a wood graft with it, right?
Okay.
That would be what I would be doing.
What particular type of cut? I know there's different types of cuts that you can make. If you've particular one that would work.
Probably any of them. If you've got the V, if you can cut a nice V onto both of them to where they're going to meet up real nice, that works. Or just an angle. It's just getting those cambium layers to match up and get that wrapped up nicely so that you don't have it's not going to get any water in there, so that they will actually heal together on each other. So it's whatever you're most comfortable with. Make sure your blade is extremely sharp. So keep a box of Band-Aids handy, and realize it may not take on the first go round. So you might want to try more than one, so that maybe you'll at least get a branch, maybe two out of the whole thing.
Okay.
But
I appreciate your time and the information. Appreciate what you do on the program.
Sure. I appreciate you being a caller. Yeah, I would probably wait till that end of May, 1st of June. Hopefully you got your radio on there handy. But that'd probably be about the time I would do it.
When the wood's hardened up,
semi hard. Yeah, it's not going to snap, but it's got a little bit of give, but it's still actively growing. So that's what we're looking for.
And a lot of people do the grafting just so they can add various colors to the same tree.
Yes, and that's people do it with the angel trumpet. They do it with hibiscus. A lot of times, even doing a braid, having like 2 or 3 different plants and getting them twisted gives you that neat look as well. But you've got individual plants on it.
When is the best time if you got, say, 6 foot tall chain link, and you want to run some jasmine or morning glory or something like that to create a privacy fence?
Right.
When's the best time to start that?
I would get them going in the spring. I mean, just because, again, right now, everything is very dormant. I cut all of mine. I have a 4-foot chain link fence, and I cut all the jasmine off, and I found the poison ivy.
Or did it find you?
I I found it twice.
Or was it a?
It was a mutual. It was a mutual thing.
Yeah.
I found it. I know where it is now. I still haven't gotten it out of there, but I had to get rid of a couple wild mulberry trees that were coming up in this fence. The only way to treat those wild mulberries. Oh yeah, and I didn't want them there because the bigger they get, the more they shade, and I could not treat them without getting that vine out from around it.
Right.
Yeah. So I cut them all back. They've finally started to come out a little bit, but it's been really, really slow. So I think once it warms up and a little fertilizer can be aimed their direction, that'd be the way I would go.
Once you discover that you have poison ivy, in the vines and everything.
Right.
And it's easy if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
People go,
I only had it in one section.
I don't know what poison ivy or poison oak looks like. There's the internet. It's very easy these days.
And it doesn't look like the vine you're trying to save. Yeah,
it doesn't.
It looks, But I did happen into it kind of accidentally.
When you find it,
though.
Yeah. What's the best way to remove it without it going from head to toe in your skin?
Oh, probably buying some of the protective stuff, the lotions and hazmat stuff, paper painter suit if you are actually highly allergic. I ended up with it, and it was I had the forearms because that's where I got into it. My gloves kept it from there, but I had the forearms and I think a spot or two on my thigh because I was dumb and wore shorts. But then once you find it and you know where that is, the best way to get rid of it is with brush killer.
Okay.
Not with regular Roundup. The brush killer kills woody vines, woody plants. It will kill the wild mulberry trees. It'll kill, small trees and shrubs. You've got a root system.
The little oak trees, the water oaks that are starting
that are coming. If you're trying to kill off some hedge, you've cut it way back, you could go ahead and treat each of those stumps with a brush killer using it full strength. It tells you right on the instructions. That's how you kill the little stumps and that.
Back to the instructions, reading the instructions. Back to the instructions,
go back with that. And that's the best way to kill that root system. It'll work on Smilex vine, the bullbriar, poison ivy. The only thing it doesn't touch is because it's not a woody vine, is air potato.
Really?
Air potato is not a woody vine.
No, it's not. I guess it's in the ground.
It's a green. It stays green. It does not get, that's the only one that
doesn't get barky.
Right. Right.
I have an advantage over you.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not even a master gardener. I literally am one that my doctor said it makes no sense.
Oh, that you're not allergic to poison ivy.
I can roll around in it, rub it on my face, doesn't bother me a bit. I've been literally in poison ivy, I've even been in poison sumac. Nothing.
Oh, see, now poison sumac is my worst, and luckily I don't think we've got sumac here in Florida.
North Carolina, you do.
Yeah, we had it in Jersey. And see, my daughter is one who would get it, and she'd get it from the cat.
And the cats can't carry poison ivy
because they get it on their fur. They roll in the and that, and she'd be snuggling the cat. She'd wake up the next morning and go, Mom, I can't. I can't see. But this is actually, and I've been here in Marion County since 1983, 84. The first time I ever got poison ivy.
Really?
Which is, I got right in it.
With all the plants you're in.
With all the plants I'm in.
That's amazing.
If I've gotten it before, it's been such a small amount, I didn't really notice. It was just an itchy spot, maybe.
My mom, because we learned at an early age, because as a kid, as a kid, I told Matt Gibbs, who's coming up next, I would eat tail light bulbs.
Yeah.
I'd do all kinds of service stations. I took a bath one time in the parts washing sink with the parts washing chemical and everything. I was that kid. So I would go out and I'd see a lush thing of weeds and everything. I thought that'd be a great place to sleep.
Yeah.
My mom found me one day. She freaks out.
And you're in a nice sunny.
I'm out sleeping in the backyard in the bamboo. It had come through that we had a wooded lot behind us. It had come through the bamboo. And I'm laying in a nice, soft weed area.
Oh, yeah.
All poison ivy. Oh,
she can't even get you out of there.
She had her Playtex yellow gloves on.
From the kitchen.
They washed the dish. Got me out, rushed me to Dr. Moss's office. Dr. Moss said, he's not going to show any symptoms if you just took him out of it.
Yeah.
You got to wait tomorrow or next.
Yeah. Give him a bath in the oatmeal tub. And,
never. She did give me a bath that night in oatmeal.
Yep.
but it never showed up.
Never showed up.
And then I've literally, just to goof on people, I've taken it, rubbed it on my arm. Yeah, nothing. I'm lucky that way.
Yeah.
And it's not everybody, but there are lots of people that aren't allergic to it.
There are people who are not allergic to it. And there are some products out on the market that you can, if you are extremely sensitive, you can put it on before you're going to be exposed, and then washes you can use afterwards. But I guess my thing on my second dose with it is I kept the spray bottle of alcohol, so that every so often, when I was working out there, I would stop, spray it on, and wipe it off with some paper towel, hoping to keep it from being as bad. And it was an annoyance, but it wasn't horrible. I had worse with poison sumac.
But I'm thinking about jasmine, or what other things besides jasmine or ivy?
Jasmine's great because it's evergreen.
How about honeysuckle?
I
remember in Georgia we had honeysuckle.
Yeah, the Japanese honeysuckle, though, you're not going to buy anywhere because it's considered an invasive.
Is it really?
Yeah. But we do there are some more native ones. There's even there is actually native wisteria. Mm-hmm. But I don't even think that's going to stay evergreen enough. Everybody would say, oh, do passion vine. Well, then passion vine gets consumed, and if you're not wanting this, if you want an evergreen vine on there, you don't want it consumed by the butterfly larvae.
Right.
So that's one of those things I tell people when they're buying it, going, this is a host food for two different butterflies. Oh, well, that's okay. No, you don't understand. A host they will eat it gone. I'd spray. No, don't. Give me that.
Does ivy go dormant here like it does, like Wrigley Field in the wintertime? It's just wooden vines hanging on the brick wall, and then the ivy comes back in the summertime.
Not really, but I don't know whether or not it would give you on a fence, unless it was a wooden fence. If it was chain link, right? Because it's not really. It has grabbers,
which is why it's a brick wall at Wrigley Field.
It can grab.
It's like a suction. For lack of a better term, it's like a suction to the wall.
Yes, and it will. Don't grow it on your house. It'll pull the stucco off.
Pull it right off.
Yep, it will.
And it'll get up under your roof line. Mm-hmm. It'll get up under your shingles.
Oh, any of them will. Any of them will. But
honeysuckle just smells.
It does.
So good. And you keep honeybees.
Yeah.
You got honeysuckle in your yard.
Yeah.
You can get some honeybees.
And so will the jasmine.
Will it?
Yeah, jasmine's super fragrant, and that will attract everybody too. And
it's honeysuckle reminded me of South Georgia.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I know it's not even a natural plant in South Georgia. It's Japanese honeysuckle. Yep. It's not even supposed to be there.
Right.
But boy, you wake up.
Oh yeah, it grew wild in the woods where I grew up in Jersey. Even.
Yeah, you wake up in the mornings and you get that good whiff of honeysuckle.
You knew it was springtime because we'd pick the flowers and then sit there and eat the nectar out of those. Yeah. You grew up in the woods. Kids today don't know.
Kids today have no idea how good bahia grass tastes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would eat bahia grass. I'd eat probably.
Oh, you get it pulled out of there, that nice white stem.
I'd eat 15 or 20 of those a day growing up as a kid. Chew on them like you chew on a straw.
Yeah.
Just didn't throw it away. Pick the next one.
Pick another one. That's it.
But people forget bahia. We are omnivores.
Yes, we are.
We can eat green.
We can graze.
We can survive grazing.
We can graze some. We just got to watch. We just got to be careful what we eat, especially as children. Yeah.
God gave us molars and incisors to rip and tear because beef is good.
It is.
Pig is good. But we're able to eat plants. And growing up as a kid, bahia, honeysuckle.
Yep.
Were the two we would eat.
And the blackberries growing wild in the woods too.
I'm 54 years old.
Still go after
You tell me where a good patch of blackberries are. I'm putting on the long pants, the long sleeve shirt, 105-degree weather.
I'm out there
with a gallon measuring cup. That's what I used to take my mom's Tupperware gallon measuring cup. She would be so mad because it would stain the hell out.
It would be purple after
It would stain the hell out of the measuring cup.
And you come back with just as many around your mouth and your fingers.
You'd bring a gallon in. You ate 2 gallons while you were out there.
It's all good times. All good times.
Is that something that you can you go and get blackberry bushes and plant in your yard?
Yeah, you sure. And you can get them thornless too.
What?
Yes, you can get thornless blackberries. Yes.
Okay, are there thornless citrus trees? Because there are. Now the world's perfect.
Well, I mean, most of your citrus is pretty much, if it's a good grafted
tree I got,
it's got some thorns on it. Yeah.
It'll tear you up.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's in good shape, even though all the leaves are gone.
Right.
It's still green. It's still very bendable without breaking. Right. And the thorns will tear you apart.
Yeah. Well, that's your sweet oranges usually are your more thornless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just like you think of a burpless cucumber, it still has some burps, just there's less of them.
Right.
So thornless fruit still have thorns, there's just less of them. So how's that?
I want thornless blackberry bushes.
Thornless, yeah. I think it's Arapaho, and it makes a decent thumb size.
Because then I could just go sit in the middle of the patch like Brer Rabbit and just eat.
And just put your chair, make it as a. I'll do that on your fence.
I always blackberries on the fence wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be Brer Rabbit from Song of the South.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with anything except I wanted to be able to go sit in the middle of a blackberry patch without worrying about the thorns.
The thorns and be able to eat blackberries.
I would have sat there for hours if it wasn't for those thorns.
Yeah.
It is my favorite berry.
I love blackberries, but the seeds just.
They get in between the teeth. It's like eating popcorn.
Yep.
But all berries are great. Boysenberries and strawberries and blackberries and blueberries. And there's a great blueberry farm in Citra. Well, not Citra. It's almost across the creek where they have a winery and everything out there now. But I had a blueberry tree in my yard in Hawthorne.
Yeah.
That every year I eventually had to tell my neighbor kids, y'all leave my bush alone.
Oh.
Because they would come. I'd come out. And the only blueberries up there, and this
were the ones they couldn't reach.
Yeah, this was like a 6 foot, 7 foot tall blueberry bush. The only blueberries I had on there were the ones I couldn't reach either. Because they'd come and blueberries are easy to strip.
Oh you just tickle your hand down through it, just like picking grapes.
How blessed are we that we can grow all these different types of fruits in this climate?
Exactly in our state, just in our county, and there's even. I mean, I haven't tried. I'm not sure if I know of anybody really who grows too many cherries, but I mean there are even the Barbados cherries.
Oh, I bet you could grow a cherry tree, no problem.
But I mean, and we can grow peaches, we can grow pears, we can grow nectarines. There are varieties that are bred for
heat,
or lack of cold. It's not bred for heat; it's bred for lack of cold.
Yeah, because the peaches in Georgia have to have cold,
and ours have to have less cold.
Right.
So it's your chilling hours, and anytime you're looking, because the fruit trees will be coming back into the stores, probably I want to say in another month and a half or so, 2 months, 1st of March.
Citrus trees are already coming back.
Citrus trees are out. Not a whole lot, only because the places don't want to have to protect them when it gets real cold. But the other fruit trees, because they are deciduous, which means they lose their leaves, haven't come in yet because nobody wants a naked stick. Right now, they want it where it's budding out, and the nurseries want to make sure that they're budding out nicely before they ship. Also, so when you're looking for those, do your research now. I mean, you got your seed catalogs. You're looking through them. Order them. You can order your seeds. They ship them real quick. Plants and things like that, make sure you're ordering something a little more local.
Is there an apple tree that would survive in Florida?
There's about 3 of them, 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, that will grow well here.
I thought we were too hot.
No. There's the Anna and the Golden Dorset, and you need one of each. You can substitute an Eimsheimer for one of those, but you have to have 2. And then I want to say there's one, and I may have the name wrong. It's like a tropic sweet. I'll have to look it up. That one you may have to go to an independent nursery and try to find that they may have to order that one for you. But those will grow here in Central Florida. You get down in Orlando, probably not.
Right.
But up here, or if you're up closer to Citra, up towards Gainesville, Hawthorne even, you get a little cooler than we do even.
Almost 10 degrees.
Yeah. And so those are going to, they'll do fine.
What about when I go to Aldi, I shop at Aldi.
Right.
And I get the Chiquita bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Right.
every time I think, like, here, Doug, you remember Doug had a banana tree at his thing. Yeah. But the bananas were like this.
Yeah.
Are there the banana trees that produce the fruits you buy in the grocery store? Would they survive here?
I think those ones are a little bit too tropical for us. There are ones that do, we all know, that do well here. And now my brain's going to take a fart on which ones those are. But the ones you're going to find in the stores are going to be the ones that are going to produce for us. They're usually like the lady fingers and things like that. They are the smaller bananas. Sometimes you find the old school bananas where they're sort of a little bit bigger, but they're chunky.
Right.
But once they're ripe, they are a nice banana.
It's good banana.
They are a nice banana. So.
Well, the hour went by again in about
so
30
quick.
minutes.
Yeah. I know that hour. That hour is the fastest hour.
That hour
in time.
goes by in about half an hour.
It does.
Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Tell people how they can find you if they're looking for you.
They can find me on Facebook at the In the Garden Facebook group page. Just ask to be a member and ask your questions there as well. I also work down in the Lady Lake Lowe's, and you can find me there most days. I work 5 days a week. Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's here every week giving you her expertise on anything in the garden. Coming up next, Matt Gibbs. He's here from Sunrise Auto to bring auto repair with personal care. You got it.
With Matt Gibbs. We'll be back after this short time out. It's 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source. Right now, it is the bottom of the hour. That was Carol Ann Baldwin on a rewind. Matt Gibbs. Not here either. He's probably a little busy at this shop, so we'll just have me for the next hour unless Matt shows up in the next few minutes. It'll be we will not have auto repair with personal care today if Matt doesn't show up in the next few minutes. Sometimes he gets busy at the shop and just can't break away. That's good business on his part. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
A tornado described as large and extremely dangerous by the National Weather Service in Birmingham, Alabama, left some people with serious injuries and caused significant damage throughout Jefferson County and surrounding areas Monday night. About 13 miles northeast of Birmingham, the city of Centerpoint saw quite a bit of damage from the storm. That's according to Centerpoint Mayor Bobby Scott. The United States has reported its first known case of the COVID-19 P1 variant, first detected in Brazil. The Minnesota Department of Health confirmed the case on Monday. The so-called Brazil variant is thought to be more transmissible. It is not known whether it's more severe. Sam Vigil, a New Mexico man, has sued the sanctuary city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, for protecting his wife's murder suspect. Luis Romero, a three-time deported illegal immigrant and alleged gang member from Mexico, has been in federal custody in Texas and charged with murdering Vigil. USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
When I first switched over, because I stopped taking the other supplements I was taking and switched over all the way to Balance of Nature, I really noticed a huge difference. It was amazing. Like better sleep, better attention, better energy. It was just really, really great.
Balance of Nature is now offering 35% off on any new preferred order. Go to balanceofnature.com today and use discount code USA.
The MyPillow Premium Pillow Special continues at MyPillow.com. If you go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, use my promo code USA, you can get a standard or queen size premium MyPillow for $29.98. That's a $40 savings. King size only $5 more. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use my promo code USA or call 1-800-951-8175.
President Trump on Monday established an official post-presidency office in Palm Beach County, Florida, to oversee his affairs. A statement from Trump's office said the office of the former president will be responsible for his correspondence, public statements, appearances, and official activities. The federal government, the largest purchaser in the world, is changing the way business gets done. USA Radio News' Jeremy Scott reports.
The president signed an executive order Monday to revitalize America's manufacturing industry.
Under the previous administration, the federal government contract awarded directly to foreign companies went up 30%. That is going to change on our watch.
The executive order directs the federal government to increase its purchases of American-made goods and remove loopholes.
Today, I'm taking the first steps in my larger Build Back Better recovery plan that invest in American workers, unions, and businesses up and down the supply chain.
About 540,000 factory jobs have been lost since last February. From the USA Radio News Oregon Bureau, I'm Jeremy Scott.
USA Radio News.
Some ways to make this year's garden the best yet. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
Welcome to the All In for Citrus podcast. There's a new resource available that brings all of Florida's citrus research together, delivering it right to you on your computer, phone, or tablet. Introducing the All In for Citrus podcast from UF IFAS in partnership with Southeast AgNet. The monthly series spans the Sunshine State with research project updates from the UF IFAS statewide citrus team. Listen to the latest episode by searching All In for Citrus on iTunes, your favorite podcasting application, or at citrusindustry.net.
Here's farmer and businessman James Wood.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety campaign.
Setting some goals now will help you jumpstart the spring growing season. Here are some ways to get prepared for the gardening months ahead. Starting with getting all of your gardening tools organized. When your tools are always at the ready, you'll be better able to take care of your yard. Next, prepare for the unwelcome pests, such as deers, rabbits, insect pests, and weeds. Although this next goal is especially crucial in drought-prone areas, gardeners in every region can improve water conservation, whether it's adding more mulch or choosing plants that are native to your region, or choosing an irrigation system with a timer to use water more efficiently. Also, set a goal to spend more time enjoying all of your work you've been putting in. Create a relaxing personal space outdoors. You could build a fire pit for the family to gather around, or include a bench or table for enjoying that morning cup of coffee while gazing at the hummingbirds and butterflies stopping by to visit